Tucker Carlson just brutally called out Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire and all the Zionists in America on the conservative right-wing movement for bragging about what Israel did to the Gaza Strip in an interview just recently. Breaking news with Piers Morgan and Jeremy Boring, the co-CEO, whatever, with Ben Shapiro for the Daily Wire, chimes in. And then I have another clip that's also now going viral of Tucker Carlson talking about the Israel-Palestine dilemma, and a lot of the Zionists that are, all the people that are super pro-Israel are so offended by what Tucker Carlson is saying, even though it's the truth. And people are now saying that he's on the same downfall as Candace Owens, even though Candace Owens has been thriving ever since her departure from the Daily. Ew. Anyways, let's just get straight into it. Make sure you like today's video, subscribe, comment down below the Israel flag is a joke, and we'll continue. Let's go.
If you're intentionally killing civilians, you probably shouldn't beat your chest and brag about it. Maybe you can make the
I agree with that.
Maybe you make the case that we had to do it or whatever, but you should.
I agree.
You should weep, and that's evil, and you should just say it's evil. And I know it's really threatening to.
Is it evil, though?
Ben Shapiro to say that or whatever, but
is it evil
to kill civilians on purpose? Yeah, it is. I think it is.
Really?
Kids and children. Well, how is it not actually?
In a war?
Well, you can call it whatever you want. How is it right to kill women and children?
I didn't say, well, because I think there is a moral right behind you if you are literally
to kill women and children.
Really? If there's a world war that threatens if it threatens the entire world, yes.
Some people killed your kids, like your 8-year-old. Like,
well,
how
your
is
own
that
children,
morally justifiable?
Well, because actually you have to. Well, by your criteria,
it's disgusting.
Okay, it's nothing's so no war is morally justified.
I mean, I think it's pretty hard to justify. I mean, yeah, I'm
Any
sure.
war,
a pure defensive action, sure. But all I'm saying, look, it's all ugly. It's all hard to stomach. I've actually seen some of it up close. It's super ugly.
You can say that. You can say you hate it. The fact you quibble with it being morally justified.
To intentionally kill non-combatants, women and children, I think we can say that's wrong. In fact, I thought that was the thing we were fighting against.
Please, someone help me understand how that is offensive and how is that crazy? Obviously, we all care about our family first. So, no, it's never morally justifiable to unalive. And yes, I have to use that term because we're on YouTube and they're very specific about what terms you can and cannot say here on here. However, yeah, that's going to be morally not okay. Never. It's just not. I don't understand. And then look at Jeremy Boring, who is, I think, the co-CEO of the Daily Wire, along with Ben. He co-founded the Daily Wire with him. He said, anyone still blind to what Tucker is doing is willing. Wait, can I read? No, the answer is no. Let's restart that one. Anyone still blind to what Tucker is doing is willfully so. Okay, willfully blind. Okay. He isn't hiding it. When a man has worse things to say about Winston Churchill and Ben Shapiro than Vladimir Putin. Oh no, not Putin. And Nazi apologists, he's making his position very clear. Oh my gosh. And if you look in the responses, Clint Russell, who I've been on his show before, he goes, and he's quoting Tucker Carlson here. He says, to intentionally kill non-combatants, women and children, I think we can say that's wrong. I never thought this would be a controversial statement. Still don't understand why it is. I'm right with you, Clint. I'm right with you. And next, I wanted to show you this new clip from Tucker that is going very viral. It's making the rounds. And here is someone, I don't even know who this is. It popped up on my feed. And he said, Tucker Carlson yesterday, and I quote, Israel is intentionally killing women and children in Gaza. Tucker Carlson today, Israel killed JFK. Tucker's deterioration was as rapid as Candace Owens. Now watch this.
Final question. Thank you for taking this time. Since you've been working on this for so long, and you did come out of, the most prominent of the mainstream media, the Washington Post, have you been slandered as a nutcase conspiracy theorist? I always wondered, what do they do with you exactly? Because you're not coming from the fringes. You're coming from right from the middle of the establishment.
I mean,
have you been attacked?
Yeah, I mean, the problem that they have is that I don't have a conspiracy theory, so the label of conspiracy theorist just doesn't apply. And the other thing is, nobody can deny the stuff that I'm talking about. Let me mention another JFK document that's very important and I think will interest you. One of the things that's withheld and is in the JFK collection right now is the testimony of James Angleton in 1975 to the Church Committee about the Israeli nuclear program. This is a 113-page document, and it's heavily redacted to this day. And the redactions clearly pertain to Israel. Now, is this an assassination-related document? Absolutely. The Assassination Records Review Board said this is an assassination-related document. It meets the statutory definition. Okay? If the president and this effort are serious, that testimony will be declassified because Angleton controlled the Oswald file on the one hand, and he was a contact with the Israelis on the other. So it belongs in the public record. That's another test of, is this serious effort?
So let me ask you, why in the world would the Dimona project, the Israeli nuclear program, which has never officially been admitted by anybody but Israel, what would that conceivably have to do with the assassination of JFK?
Well, it relates to what Angleton was doing in 1963, okay? There were profound conflicts between Israel and the Kennedy White House over the nuclear program. Kennedy was pressing for on-site inspections, which the Israelis resisted because on-site inspections would have realized that they had a bomb-making program. So this was a real bone of contention between the Israeli government and the Kennedy administration in the summer of 1963, at a time when Angleton controlled the Oswald file. So just the juxtaposition of those facts means that everything about it should be on the public record.
And Angleton, who was the counter intel chief at CIA,
yeah,
James Jesus Angleton, he... That's quite amazing. Did he support, do you know his view of the Israeli nuclear program?
I mean, it's very hard to tell sometimes from this testimony, given all the redactions. But yeah, that's, was he secretly supporting Israel against JFK? That's one of the questions that needs to be answered by full disclosure.
So why would he be asked about that in a congressional hearing? That's quite amazing.
Well, because in 1975, the CIA had been revealed to be running assassination programs, to be running a mind control program, to be spying on the anti-war movement, spying on Americans. So, he was hauled before, and Congress, who was completely in the dark, had been duped or wanted to be duped. Suddenly their eyes woke up and they had to explain to their constituents, hey, what have these guys been doing in our name? And so Angleton was called in, and this was all, executive session testimony. So he was grilled about lots of things, about domestic spying, about the Israeli nuclear program, about the JFK assassination. Interestingly enough, he was not questioned about Oswald because even the Church Committee did not know the extent of the pre-assassination surveillance of Oswald. That's only something we've learned since the 1990s.
It is interesting. I mean, I have no idea what the truth is, of course, but it is interesting that one of the only major policy changes that Lyndon Johnson made in the year after the president's murder was, on the Israeli nuclear program, which he accepted. Basically, he dropped the demand for on-site inspections. He dropped the demand that AIPAC be classified as a domestic lobby. And, there was really no accountability after that. And the story only emerged, 10 years later when the Church Committee started pressing Angleton for some explanations. So I had no idea until you just told me that was actually a feature of those hearings. And so, of course, I mean, the American public has an absolute right to know what's in that exchange 50 years later. And this is a tough call for the president because he's going to get very strong pushback from his national security apparatus, supported by the CIA, supported by Israeli interests, to say, no, you can't talk about that. That's not permitted. Don't do that. Yeah, it's frustrating as an American citizen. I don't have any kind of real agenda here other than it's, my country. I'm a shareholder in America, as are you. And right. I think we have an absolute moral right and a legal right to know this 50 years later.
Yeah, It's as simple as that. And the fact that this is so controversial, that this is the downfall of Tucker Carlson, just like Candace Owens, it's almost satirical. It's almost laughable. No, it actually is laughable because Candace has just been rising in her podcast game, everything. She's been blowing up ever since leaving the Daily Wire. So do not let these fake conservatives bully you into self-censoring yourself. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure you like it, subscribe, comment an orange heart if you made it to the end of the video. And as always, I love to see what you guys think. So please let me know what you guys think about this entire situation in the comments below. I do read them. I respond to a lot of them. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.